Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do DIY Dollar Tree colorful Easter eggs in a country fashion. And there they are, the famous eggs. But this time we're going to use the little ones that come in the 18 pack. And then baker's twine, whatever colors you want. Very, very similar to what we've done before. We're also going to use buttons for embellishment. That's what adds that little bit of a country flair. All of this stuff can be found at the Dollar Tree, as well as your gluing device and your cutting device. Just your scissor, don't tell anybody. Okay, so first what you need to do is you need to decide what eggs you're going to cover, what size, and with what color, and that's about it. Now this is very similar to the cotton twine covering we did, where we start on the end and then we wrap towards the middle row, and then we sort of just glue it off. What's great about the baker's twine from the Dollar Tree is it's very inexpensive. You don't get a lot, but you get a variety. They're in 4 packs, I believe. 3 packs? 3 packs? For $1. And the colors usually coordinate with each other. So there's one set that has pastels, and then there's one set that has sort of earth tones, and then one set that sort of has the traditional baker's twine sort of colors. And I've done these on yellow eggs, just because this one is going to be yellow and white. I've done one yellow and white and one sort of the peachy orange color and white. And if you weren't around to watch the other twine videos, what we're going to do is we're just going to dot a hot glue at the very, very center, at the top or the bottom, wherever you want to start. And once that glue has set up, you want to wrap a couple of times, gluing along the way so as to not have your threads come loose. You don't have to glue every single row, but just make sure before you go on to the next row that the previous row that you glued is set up. If the glue is still wet on the previous row and you go to wrap it around more, it may end up pushing it back, just to give you that tip, okay? And this is just regular multi-temp hot glue that I have that I'm using, okay? Now, if you wanted to put a dollar tag on this or a price tag on this, it really would just be pennies to make these eggs. Even if we used the whole spool of baker's twine, those were only 33 cents because you get 3 of them. And then of course the buttons, we've got probably 500 buttons in that little container. Maybe it's less, maybe it's 300 buttons, but still, those little containers for $1. But if you have buttons laying around, or if you go to someplace like Michael's that has like a bulk bag of buttons that you can get for less money, obviously they'll be even cheaper. It would be nice to have like sentimental buttons or little shaped buttons, or buttons that were grandma's. That would be really, really sweet and delicate on here. Now you can also embellish these any other ways you want to. What we're going to just do today is we're going to make button flowers. I'm going to show you guys how to do a weird technique. I don't know. We're going to cut a button in half and make it leaf. How's that? But I kind of felt like they had a very Mary Angle Bright feel, these buttons. These flowers, I should say. All right. So you could go ahead and embellish them with ribbons if you wanted to. Any of the previous embellishment techniques that we used on the other eggs, you definitely could do with these ones. But I just wanted to make the set with simple button flowers. Okay. For the second egg, I'm going to repeat the process. This is just with that very, very pale yellow and white baker's twine that was in the set. The other one is more of the orangey yellow that came with it. But this is just that very, very pale yellow. It actually was very difficult for me to tell that it was anything but white until I compared it to the solid white baker's twine. Okay. And repeating the same thing. I did find towards of course, the last one. You always discover better ways to do things at the very last one, because this baker's twine is much thinner than the cotton twine that we used in previous videos. I felt that it would be easier to tie a knot in the very end when I go to start, and what that did was that actually held on to the glue a little bit better to get the start going. Okay. And then we're ending at the seam. Again, wherever the seam of the egg is, right around that hinge, we're going to go ahead and end there, and then go back to the other end and then work our way down towards the seam again. So technically, if you were careful, you could open these eggs and use them. If you glued the flour not on the seam, above the seam perhaps, or on the back where the joint was. Well, if you put it on the back where the joint was, you probably wouldn't be able to open it. But if you put it above where the seam is, you probably could go ahead and open these if you wanted to. I don't. I actually one of them I tried to glue close and it wouldn't stay glued. So that might be an option if you want. But it'd be cute if you could hide something in there, wouldn't it? Okay, and then when we finish off, the next one I'm going to do is this hot pink. One of them, it came in the pastel set. It was, I always thought it was red and white until I put it next to the actual red and white. And you can see that it's like hot pink. But for the hot pink one, I've decided to go ahead and use the hot pink egg. Because why not? Because this way I figured even if a little bit of the string doesn't cover properly, it will blend in because it's hot pink. All right. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing. This is where I've decided to go ahead and create a knot at the end. I just felt like it was that much easier. Plus, because this baker's twine is much thinner, I didn't have to worry about trying to wrap around such a tight little area at first. When I was able to create that knot, it made it bulkier, and then I was able to wrap around it much neater. And then what I like to do is just to show you guys, I wait till the glue is just a tiny bit cool, cool enough to the touch where I won't burn myself, still warm though. And then I use my finger to push all the threads down. And what that does is it pushes the glue across different rows. Basically, it helps the glue spread out a little bit. All right, and I noticed that with this baker's twine, when you kept straight rows, it kind of created almost like a stripe pattern in the egg, which I thought was a bonus, just a little bit of a unexpected benefit. If you like that kind of look, anyway. All right, and then just gluing along the way, making sure you keep yourself safe. I did decide to kind of just I was making this one really neat, and then I got towards the end and I was like, just wrap it. I wonder what it would look like if we did just go ahead and make a sort of a all over wrap in the middle. So I knotted the other end, glued it right in the middle. I may have worked a little too fast on that one, and I think the glue came up, but just go ahead and wait for it to cool off, Jerry. She's so impatient. It's really funny. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I have a ton of patience, and sometimes I'm like, I can't wait for the glue to cool off. Yeah, I know. I'm weird. Now, I really did enjoy the wrapped eggs. I really did. Whether we did them in jute, whether we did them in twine, or even this baker's twine, which is really fun because it does add that little splash of color. So much of the farmhouse DIYs that we do are very, very neutral colors: black, white, beige, ivory. It's nice or gray. It's nice to go ahead and add a little color every once in a while. Like I said, or you'll see maybe if you watch the other channel, is going to have the Easter unboxing of decor with you. I'll talk about how I like a little color and a little sparkle in my Easter to go along with my farmhouse accents. Okay, and you can see there we just went ahead and I figured I'd just use the rest of the bolt to go ahead and just fill up the middle a little bit. So now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to pour out the whole jar of buttons. Now this jar of buttons is buttons from the Dollar Tree. Those 2 containers are put in here. Plus I have buttons left over from years and years, plus buttons from Michael's, plus buttons I was gifted by my friend Sophie in Towns. Hi Sophie, hi Towns. They gifted me some beautiful buttons along the way. So what I did was, because this is a hot pink egg, I picked a hot pink button. Then I picked a white button to go in the middle, sort of a medium size. And then I'm picking a teeny tiny hot pink button again, just to fill in right in the center. Just to stack, the way we stack the buttons kind of gives that very flower-esque feel to it. Okay? And it really is just stacked buttons. So now what I'm doing is I'm searching for green buttons. I have a few green buttons. And actually, I have a set that came with the Dollar Tree buttons that are green on one side and white on the other with like red on the edge. Almost looked like it was supposed to be an Italian flag or a watermelon. I wasn't really sure. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find the thinnest green button that I can get my hands on. And we're going to actually use a couple of different ones during the video. And what I'm doing, clearing of the way, I was gifted these wonderful scissors. They're from the garden section at the Dollar Tree, I found out. Sarah Jane from Chic on the Cheap told me that's where they came from. So now I told her I'd be on the lookout to get another pair because I love them. But what I did was I just used them. They have sort of a wire cutter towards the hinge. And I just used that to cut the button in half. And I basically made 2 semicircles, and they do make really cute leaves. And because it did have a very Mary Engelbreit feel to it, I put one at like 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and one at 9 o'clock, just to basically keep it spaced out. Okay, so for the yellow one, we're going to do almost the same thing. We're going to stack buttons. Again, you can change this up the way you want to. So I'm kind of a matchy kind of a girl. I know I'm weird. But, you know, this yellow is kind of neutral, Eastery. It would be cute with pink flowers on it if you wanted to. If you like all the different colors, that'd be definitely way to go. I, of course, like I said, I'm a really weird matchy person. And I put a big yellow button in there with a little tiny pink button in there. Look, I did. I mixed it up. And then again, I cut the leaves. This one was a little bit broken on the end, so I tucked the broken end underneath. And I actually made these at 10 and 2 o'clock just to make it a little bit different. But then I realized it kind of looks like bat wings. So that's all right. That's the way it looks now. Love it or leave it. And then for the last one, I took sort of the orange egg and I decided to use that wooden button. I really like the way the wooden button looks. It really does give a very country feel. I am not 100% sure where I got them from. They may be left over from crafts from days gone by. They may have been recently gifted to me. I wish I could tell you I remember, and I'm sorry if you are somebody who gave them to me and I don't remember you giving them to me. I apologize. But I took the wooden one and I stacked up an orange and then filled in the very center. Nope, I'll leave that very center. This green button is different than the other two. It's hard to cut and it ends up going between the edges of the scissors. It's really hard. I decided to go across the holes. Yeah, that one didn't want to cut. Okay, let's get another one. Let's get another one, shall we? This one has 4 holes. What I did find out was if your button's not thin enough, the more holes it's got, the easier it is to break. And then for this one, I'm going to also do it at the Mary Engelbreit 2 and 9 o'clock. All right. Now, by the time I got this out to be photographed, I lost my little orange button in the middle and I didn't realize it. So I'm sorry about that. But, just get that under there. There we go. It's cute. They kind of do look like leaves, don't they? Yeah, I think so. And that's it for this tutorial. This was a very simple, easy project. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments down below. I got those great egg cups from Ann. Hi, Ann. Thank you. And she got them from Target if you're interested. And don't forget to share this video with friends and family, anybody who might be interested in making this easy project. And as always, take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time.